Namaskar, everyone.
Namaste.
Hi, hello.
Love the yellow and the
Hello,
bling.
Jana. Nice to see
Yeah,
you
I was
after a
about to
long
tell that.
time. Hello, Sarah. Hi, Lee. Hello, Bhavna, Isha. Hello. Hey, Mary Catherine. Hi, Anushri. Come on video if you're.
Yeah, I mean, just give me.
It'd be nice to say hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, Neelam. Anushri, can I hand over the waiting room to you?
ma'am.
Yes, Mynoo, definitely.
Yep.
There's Mina.
Hand over the waiting room to you.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Hello, welcome. I'm just like so shocked at seeing myself in yellow. It's not a color that I would normally wear at all. And here I am.
Beautiful.
Who
So-
chose the yellow for you, Mynoo?
that
I was
lipstick
shocked.
that my niece bought me.
Oh, there's a poem. Can I say there's a four phrase line for
Okay.
yellow? If it's okay.
Okay, Bhavna, I get it. Thank you very much for joining us. And some of you have heard me talk about the 11th to the 28th of September as a very specific time on our planet. So I'm going to elaborate on that in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first question that I have received. It's a very interesting one. And then as we have a few more people that have said they will be joining us, join us, then I will talk more about this particular time on our planet. The question that was asked was that, you know how we have, you have twins that are born in the same family, and they're born just a few minutes apart from each other. And yet, as their lives evolve, they have very, very different experiences of life. You know, one of them has a very relaxed, fulfilling life of ease and joy, and another one has a life which is full of turmoils and turbulence. So, what is it that causes that, given that they are twins? It was an interesting question. So I'm going to begin by answering that question, and then I'll share more about this particular time that we are coming up to, and you can prepare your questions in relationship to that. So when you have twins that take birth, it doesn't mean that it's not one soul that is taking birth. You know, there's a physical body and there's a soul being. And a soul being goes into the human form. And the soul being entering the human form as a matter of choice occurs at the time of conception. So I used to see Sarah Gross talk about happy first birthday for years. Never quite understood the significance of that until I embarked on my series of spiritual awakenings, only to find that it is extremely significant because our birthday is in fact when we were conceived. Because as far as the soul is concerned, the moment it enters the human form, that is its birthday. And then when it comes out into the world, it is its first birthday. So when it comes to twins, you know, the souls, it's two souls enter and take birth on the day in which that conception takes place. It's not the same soul. It's not the soul that has come with the same agenda either. They have had different life experiences that in their previous incarnations that they have brought with them to be birthed on this planet. So if we only took birth in this human form and we operated from purely a soul being experience, not a soul being having a human experience, but we continued operating from a soul being experience, you will notice various things going on in your life, but you won't necessarily have the ups and downs and triggers and traumas and exhilarations that the human form enables to occur. So when twins take birth and then they have their first breath day, they are two separate souls with different life experiences, different agendas, if you like, that they are to fulfill in their soul's journey when they are taking birth. And that defines the foundation of how their life will turn out. This is a planet of free choice. And what occurs is a reflection of the choices that you are making. You're given a number of tools as human forms. Three of them being, the first one being, we are born with choice. Choice is the modus operandi of being human. That is the way the human form enters a realm of doing. The second thing that we are born with, which gives us an opportunity to experience our beingness, which is dignity. Dignity is the honoring of your own worthiness. And that is the being aspect that allows your human form to really stay in a state of being. And then the third one is your unique mastery that you are here to express and multiply, which I call as your source mastery. It's a mastery in relating that is unique to you, and it's something that is driven from the various experiences a soul has had. So in the context of twins, that was the question. How can twins have such diverse experience given that they are born so close apart? It can't possibly be planetary. It has to be something beyond that. Yes, karmic experiences do make a difference because they are two separate soul beings who've had different experiences. And what occurs in this life is a function of the choices they make. And it is those choices that create vibrationally what it is that is occurring in your life. And that is what multiplies. And hence the difference can be quite profound, quite pronounced even. And that's what it is. Yes, karmic makes a difference, and the rest is actually created through the choices we make. A lot of the time you will find that those of us who have experienced emotional stress and trauma in any part of our life, you will find that and I've done this quite a lot because I just happened to have 9 years of my life where I just sat and really reflected on all these pieces of wisdom being received, and I would just apply it to benefit of hindsight. So when I looked at certain points of trauma or distress in my life, and I went back to the origin, when did it first originate? I realized that when it first originated, it was just that something occurred, which was didn't make me feel happy. And I gave it meaning, which was way beyond the fact of what had occurred. It was, you know, I don't feel happy and this person doesn't like me. And, I really am not meant to be here in this country. I should really go back. And, what am I doing? I grew up in a home of freedom fighters, and here I am living in London. I'm feeling guilty about enjoying my time there. I shouldn't really, all these people who gave their lives. I mean, it was that. It was like something small occurred that made me not feel happy, and I gave it meaning, and it started multiplying, but never went back to the fact. So the rest of my life was a reaction to meaning. I very soon forgot what the fact in the matter was. So I'm relating it back to this question about, when twins are birthed, given that they are birthed so close together, why do we see that they have very different lives? They may look very similar. They may have certain similar habits, but their life experiences are so diverse. One, they are different souls. They come with a different intention, and they take birth. And what occurs, what their experiences are, is very much a function of the choices they make. We can learn from this answer. All of us have got something to learn from this. So with that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor up for other questions. Before I do that, I want to welcome so many of you who are very new to this session, and some of you are very new to me as well. This is probably your first session, and the first time after you have engaged with any of my work that you are here. So welcome, and thank you for trusting me to be here. This Ask Me Anything literally is a session where literally anything goes. It's your opportunity to ask me about anything. It could be personal, it could be work related, soul related, business related, health related. We've had a whole variety of questions that emerge. Now, you could participate in this session, sitting back and listening to me respond to these, to the questions, and listen to me as a third party, and think, wow, this is useful, or this is okay, it's interesting, good for you. What I wish to say to you is the fact that this question has arisen in your presence, it is in your field of inquiry. We have a conscious mind, we have a subconscious mind, we have an unconscious mind, and we have an energetic presence of different levels. There are actually 13 layers that come together to make a human body. That's for another session at some point. So the fact that something has been raised as a question, it is there in your field of inquiry. So rather than sit back and observe me having an interaction with someone else, my invitation to you would be to really go in and engage with it, look at the fact that it is occurring in my presence. What's there for me to get out of this? Okay, and it may be a word or two. Whatever it is, just jot that down. Everything is a vibration. Everything. Every word has a vibration. Every thought has a vibration. We are all vibrational beings. We would not be able to see each other in this form if we were not vibrating. Because look, the earth is traveling around the sun at such a speed. We would be vibrating for us to be able to even stand still. Now, where there is a vibrational frequency, there's always a vibrational frequency match, which brings into our presence, into our reality, that which we are meant to experience. So these words, these dialogues, these conversations, the fact that we are all here, there is something there in each of us as an archetype of collection of experiences and wisdom that brings us together. And just by our very presence, there is a gift of us that we are sharing with each other. You know, so just really be very engaged as you participate in these sessions. So with that having been said, what's going on the 11th of September, you ask? And I'm going to come to you for the questions in a moment. So keep your hand raised. And if you have any questions that you wish to put in the chat, Anushri is here. She will make sure that your question is
Mynoo
asked.
Janasri just requested me to.
So every year, there is an energetic significance. There's so many people that do wonderful astrology. That's not my gift. I don't even want to go there. That's great that they do that. I focus on the energetic significance of the time. That the energetic significance of this time is this year, 2022, is a year of rejoicing. That's the vibration. So if you understand that the energetic significance of 2022 is the year of rejoicing, if you find a way of rejoicing, the energy of this year will multiply it and multiply it and multiply it. Now, I mean, you know, it's not even practical, our mind goes, to be rejoicing every moment, right? And despite whatever is occurring, I say to people, find one thing that you can in fact rejoice and ask the question, how much better can it get? And you will find the universe starts to multiply that. I also say to people, use acknowledgement to acknowledge how you feel. Don't put your blinkers on. If you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling saddened, if you're feeling angry or frustrated, acknowledge it. In your acknowledgement, you're literally rubbing soap and washing off any negativity that might be stuck to you. So when you acknowledge, it's like you're washing away with soap just by acknowledging it, and it just gets rid of any form of negativity or low vibe. But if you don't acknowledge it, the dirt goes in, you know, and depending on how your physical condition is, you may actually develop a physical condition, or you might develop some form of a mental anguish or emotional distress. So always acknowledge. Acknowledgement frees you up. Now, once you've acknowledged anything that is bringing you down, then you can go into, okay, I unconditionally accept what is. And right now, what is the one thing that I find that is making me smile? And that may just be the fact that you've done this process. And then you go, okay, universe, how much better can it get? Use the energy of this year to apply a multiplier effect to rejoicing. It is in your rejoicing and in this multiplier effect that you start to see that this year is full of waves. It's literally like when you get into the vibe of rejoicing, you know, a wave is there and you can ride the wave. Now you can be on top of the wave, or you can be you know, inside the wave, at which point it's really hard to get on the top of it. You could be surfing it, or you could be, you know, inside of it, and it's really tough to get out when you're in it. So whatever, because this is a year of waves, whatever it is that you're vibrating multiplies so fast. So if you're in a vibe of rejoicing and you are clear where you are going with your life, then with the lightness of being, you ride wave after wave after wave, you're surfing it and you get there. If you allow negative vibration to hold you down, it happens. Acknowledge it, clear it out. And, you know, if you allow that to come in the way, then it will take you under. In amidst this year of surfing the waves, there are times in this year where you have these huge waves that I call as pipelines. Pipelines is a very large wave, which almost like circles within itself and creates a pipe. And the surfer glides inside the pipe. You go on top of it and you literally become one with the wave and you ride the pipe. The speed is very fast and it calls you to be completely present in your presence with a very clear intention of where you're going. All that's required is for you to have absolute presence, belief in yourself. This is the one that is like the dignity boot camp, if there was one, where the focus is simply on being. Because the moment you step into the pipe, the doing just occurs. The pipeline takes you where you wish to get to. Now, sometimes people go into a bit of a panic saying, oh my God, I don't really know what my purpose is. We all, if you're a human, you have life, you're breathing, the life is just a state where you as an organism are breathing. And there is only one purpose to life. There is only one purpose to everyone's life, which is to come alive. Whatever makes you come alive. So you may have that aliveness defined in a very specific way, like I do, expecting and accepting miracles as the norm for humans and humanity, where these miracles are incidents that make your heart sing and they occur with joy, ease, grace, omnipresent. That's the gig. That's what I'm here to teach and share and spread the experience of. So you may not have that clarity for what your purpose is, but your purpose, given that you have life, is to come alive. You can take that on. And you can choose the times where we have these pipelines to focus your intention on something specific. That may be to get yourself a new job. That may be to master a way in which your health is reclaimed. That may be that you wish to transform your workplace, a particular relationship, whatever it may be. You can apply the energy of these pipeline times to whatever it is that you intend. We have a pipeline time coming up. We had a big, long one not that long ago, and there are several of you who experienced that, so you understand what that experience is. It will feel very, very rapid, So the next pipeline that's coming up is from the 11th of September to the 28th of September. And it is a great time as you're building up to the pipeline. So if you've ever been to the ocean front where the waves build up and there are surfers that go there, the ocean develops what I call as swells. It swells up, the waves swell up, right? So similarly, you will be experiencing swells. Even now you'll be experiencing swells. Sometimes these swells generate a form of inner agitation. Other times they generate a form of inner excitement that you feel and others sometimes find a bit too overwhelming, but just be aware of what that is. And all you are to do is to just really go into, okay, I'm going to enter a time where my focus is going to be to up-level my vibrations to the highest vibe I can possibly have as we come towards the pipeline. We have a particular business, for example, the last pipeline, they decided to take on transforming marketing. So the leads that get generated for sales to convert would completely transform and it'll become a non-issue, because every month it used to be an issue. How are we going to keep our sales guys busy because the leads are not generating? And now, I mean, they've got 6 salespeople, they're fully booked all the way until the end of September. And they have their whole sales cycle and the SEOs and all of that are just mobilized and delivering lead after lead after lead after lead. It was mobilized at the last pipeline. It's delivering. This issue of marketing and sales is like they are a part of the same team dealing with an issue. Now, when you have super success, that comes up with its own issues. In amidst that, acknowledge that which is if bothering you and find in amidst all of that something that still makes your heart sing. Work with the universe. Develop these pipeline moments, and there are several of you here who've experienced it. You know These pipeline times are the times where your relationship with the universe becomes so close. You really get that the universe is here rooting for you. It has its back. It has your back. The clearer you are, the easier it is. Now, just like with any surfing experience, and the pipeline included, you don't have to ride the pipe. You only ride it if you feel masterful as a master of being able to ride the pipe. You can stand on the ocean and observe it. You will still experience the thrill of it, and you will enjoy it. You ride the pipe if you are clear about your intention, and it will take you forward, fast forward, like nothing has ever done before. It will be, this pipeline is mission accomplished pipeline. Get clear about your mission, enter it, and just simply be present. Every moment by moment, missions accomplished. No kidding, mission accomplished. This one is faster than the one that we had last time around, and last time around, it has delivered so many mission accomplished experiences. And that's why it was important for us to have this session. I'm excited that I'm able to share this knowledge with you. There was a question that one of the people that has done a lot of work with me asked yesterday, which is where is this date coming from? Is it an astrological thing? What is it? It isn't an astrological thing. It's something that I get from my intuition. And I've been doing this intuitive connect to the energetics of the planet for many, many years now. Certainly since 2015, I've actually been very proactively working with this. Since 2020, which was a baggage-free year, it has become very specific that there are certain points in the year where the energies are completely escalated, and we can leverage it to fulfill why we are here. With that having been said, I'm going to open it up to questions. So we'll begin with you, Jana, and Anushri, if you can spotlight those that are asking the question,
Sure.
that would be great.
Yeah, good evening, Mynoo. Is my
Yes,
voice
Jana.
audible? Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good evening. Actually, very thanks.
Unmute, we can't hear you.
I'm unmuted.
You are unmuted, though we can't hear you.
Mynoo,
Why
we
can't
can't
we hear you?
hear.
Say something.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
No, I think it's going somewhere else. Your
No, Mynoo. Hello, Mynoo.
or
Anushri
your
here.
microphone is going either to your headphones, which are not connected.
Yeah.
No, Mynoo, there is some problem.
Can't
Like
hear you.
Anu can hear.
we can hear Mynoo.
I can't hear.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hold on, Jana. Looks like I can't hear you. So, okay, go for it. Say again.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for the wonderful insight. Basically, which made me realize that I need to value myself more, which was reflected with the recent experiences. I'll make it quick short. I had 3 questions in line. The last one, which you advised me for the demo for a class which I went there, it was okay. I didn't feel that good when I gave the demo. Maybe the audience were too much hyper excited, or they were not showing interest. But okay, I understand. There are only 15 years kids, all are children of 100 members. But the management was not clear. So I felt that I am a chartered accountant and they want me to hire as a normal teacher, irrespective of my experience. So I denied the offer, but it made me feel sad that maybe I am not being properly valued. Second one was yesterday at 3:30 in the afternoon. I received 300 rupees sudden amount of a sale of my book. I should feel happy, but my expression was, "Bah, why did this come now? I should share a book to that person. I should go open my laptop." This was my reaction. I was thinking, why I was thinking like, is this any blockage for my money mindset? Third
Mm.
one, a favorite person of mine whom I want to talk to for the first time after 6 months messaged me and sent me his photo of this Krishnashtami. I should feel happy, but I was, Arey, why is he sending this now? I'm like frustrating kind of what's happening with me. I am not
Okay.
understanding what to do, what not to do.
Okay.
And the last question is that being a chartered accountant, I always feel I should do something related to CA, but I'm not finding joy in it. Okay. I want to do
Mm.
something spiritual, but I'm not starting it off. Starting trouble. Should I do, should not do? Will I get money in the way, not getting money? This money thoughts
Mm.
completely. So it's kind of struck
Mm.
feeling from last 3 days. So from morning, I'm waiting for the session to ask you this.
Okay.
And you're looking very
Okay.
good in this yellow.
Thank you.
Yes, yellow,
Thank
yellow,
you.
lucky fellow sitting on a golden pillow. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sitting on a golden pillow, but I do have a bit of gold around my neck.
Yeah. So these are
Okay,
the things.
so let me just share something for you to examine for yourself. Okay,
Mm,
um, it's um, it's to do with a decision, right,
mm,
that you've made, and it's a decision that is a choice between happiness and suffering.
mm.
Okay, so happiness and suffering are two sides of the same decision-making coin. So it's like there's stuff that is happening that should actually make you happy, and you still question or you feel sad or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
here's the thing: when you make the decision to be happy, joy is the action you seek.
Okay.
When suffering is the decision you've made, pain is the justification um, you look for. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm,
I would say that, and it's very easy. It's your coin. You can decide. You're not even flipping it in the air. You can say happiness, suffering. Okay, I chose suffering. I get it. That's why whatever happens, I'm asking the same question. I seem to be sort of stuck in sadness. Well, you're not stuck in sadness. You just made the decision to be in suffering. So you're finding things to justify staying in
yes.
that place. You can turn it around and say, right, I decide to be happy.
Mm,
So what are the actions that I can take that give me joy? And that gets you proactive. It gets you moving.
mm.
There's nothing passive when you make the choice of happiness. Nothing outside of you can give you happiness. It is your decision. But if
Yes.
you've just made a decision to be happy and do nothing, it just won't, it's almost like the moment we make a decision to be happy, it doesn't allow us to just sit there. You automatically start taking actions that give you joy, right? So my
Yeah.
invitation to you, Jana, would be, decision to be happy, right?
Mm,
Switch the coin, decision to be happy, and start creating your treasure trove, collecting actions that give you joy.
yes.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
one thing. Now, in the context of CA, valued, spiritual, teacher, right? The most important thing is in this time, as you're coming up to the pipeline,
Mm,
if you stay in a conflicted state, it will literally be like doing the splits with your legs every day, your
yes.
foot in two camps, right? So if you've got a money cash flow issue, right?
Yes.
You just choose that what is it that's going to give you that flow happening.
Okay.
Okay, and you
Mm,
can choose that I'm going to allocate 20% of my time so doing only chartered accountancy work, because
mm.
that gets me the flow, and I know I don't enjoy it, so I'm not going to spend more time in that. But 20% is one day out of 5 you're going to do chartered accountancy. It's okay.
Yeah.
It gets you the flow, and the other 4 days you're going to experiment and explore how you
Yes.
can really actualize this whole spiritual side of you. Here's the other piece to understand, the third piece to understand about what is spiritual, right? Spiritual in my world is reconnecting to the spirit of you.
Mm,
So the dual separation of you and the spiritedness of you being two separate things, spiritual brings it together, and you plug into the spirit of you. And that brings out the spiritedness in you.
yes.
Okay, so when you make a choice like this, even when you're doing your chartered accountancy, you may do it 1 day a week, or you may do it 40% of your time, depending on where you are.
Mm.
You remain connected to your spirit because yay, it's giving me flow, it's giving me the space to experiment.
Yes.
You know, and you've made the decision to be happy, so joy is the action you take
That is the first
ongoingly.
decision to be.
That's
to
the
take.
first piece. Make that decision.
Huh.
You know, that's the key thing. This is the time, this is the prep between now and the 11th of September for all of us. Anything that you have given your power away to
Mm.
in the context of your happiness, right? Just know happiness is your decision, not anybody else's. Nobody gives you happiness. It is not a doing thing. It is
Yes.
it is not even an experience. It is just a decision.
Mm.
The moment you make that decision, joy is the action you take. And that is you take, not anybody else. Nobody else can give you joy. It's
Yes.
your actions, and you can share them generously. And then there's a nice exchange and dance of joy that takes place. All begins with you and ends with you. There is only you,
Mm.
nothing else.
That also helps in better utilization of the energy levels as well.
Absolutely. It transforms your energy level completely.
Got it.
Well, and thank you for asking this. Yeah, thank you for asking this question. I'm sure so many of us here have benefited from my response to this for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll implement and let you know by next week as to what's my progress.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
Anushri, I'm relying on
Yeah.
you to.
Yeah, so there is one question from Isha. Isha,
Okay.
if you are here, so can you just come online? I mean, this, can you just put your
Yes,
camera on?
yes. Hello, hi.
Hello.
All right. So my question was that how do we maintain this high frequency of vibration every time or most of our times?
Yes. So how can you maintain this high frequency of vibrations most of the time, if not all of the time? Okay. It is, first of all, it is a matter of choice. And you won't be able to maintain it if you actually have I have to, I need to. It becomes very heavy. You won't be able to maintain a high vibration if you attach a have to. Vibrations become become up leveled the moment you look at any situation that you are dealing with the point of view that what if I didn't have to, would I choose to do this? And the choice, the answer may be no, and yet you feel for whatever reason you're obligated to and you're going to choose to do it. Despite all of that, your vibration doesn't come down because you honored your worthiness by asking this question. So really releasing the have to, need to, should do, should not do really supports that journey. There are 3 questions that people who work with me, it's become a sort of their mantras, which I also will share in response to your question, which will really help you. The first one is, before going ahead and acting on anything, just ask, is this mine to do? And trust your own intuition. If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is a maybe, then examine what is mine to do. Is it mine to delegate? Is it mine to inspire? Is it mine to, cross off? Honor whatever response you receive from your heart, from your gut. The second question is, if I don't have to, if I didn't need to, would I choose to do this? And make a conscious choice. The third one is, the moment you find, this is a powerful access point to up-leveling your vibrations. The moment you find something that is positive, that makes you smile, you just immediately acknowledge that and ask the question, how much better can it get? I shared this story a few weeks ago about my niece. She was here. We were all in Dubai, and she was having some tummy upset. So she goes to the doctor for a checkup, and it all like, hell breaks loose. And it's like she's having this strangulated hernia and it requires an immediate surgery. I mean, she's in her mid-20s, so uh, she was anxious because we were all working and she'd just gone to the doctor expecting something for her tummy bug. And the doctor said, no, we can't let you go back. We've got to check in with which hospital is going to be available and stuff. So she calls my sister up, her mother, and I happened to be at home, and we both instantly went, wow, aren't we lucky that she actually went to this particular clinic and they found what the issue is. How much better can it get? Now, we were concerned, and we were I was about 20 minutes away. My sister was about an hour and a half away from the clinic. That's fine. 20 minutes later, I was next to my niece, and they immediately did the tests and stuff, and they found that it was strangulated. It wasn't as emergency situation. She could fly back to London if we wanted her to. But of course, we were quite anxious that she should not fly back to London. So they went and did a few more tests. And then they found that one of her ovaries had a humongous cyst, like an 8.5 centimeter cyst, which was on the verge of bursting. And we immediately went, oh my God, how much better can it get? This would have been disastrous. If we'd only ever looked at her hernia and decided that she was going to go back to London, anything would have happened on the flight. So we met the consult. So can you imagine? I mean, we were doing the how much better can it get at that time, acknowledging how we were feeling, and yet choosing for the universe to support us to continually uplift our vibrations so that anxiousness did not multiply. We were actually, right towards the tail end of the last pipeline at the time. So we finally said, okay, she's going to get her surgery here in Dubai, nowhere else. We said, okay, we want to meet the surgeon. And we are into, the surgeon doesn't work today, he'll come in tomorrow. And the surgeon walks in because there were certain things that he needed to pick up because he had a series of surgeries the next day. And he finds that one of his surgery slots is canceled. And he sees that we are an emergency surgery case, and he meets us. And it was like, oh my God, how much better can it get? And then it turns out that he is one of my cousins, her mama, her maternal uncle. And he has his own clinic, and he immediately takes on the case, and he just literally charges us the base minimum for just the equipment and the medication and stuff. Not the usual bill, which would have been at least 5 times what we finally paid for the whole thing. And it just kept going, how much better can it get? And he said that, look, normally it takes anything from, 6 weeks to 3 months to recover. We were on a roll of how much better can it get? So we started noticing little differences in her health. We made it a conscious choice as a family, all of us, and we were noticing within ourselves also our own response and reaction to this. And we kept going, how much better can it get? How much better can it get? 4 weeks later, she was back in London and she's completely recovered. She had various hormonal issues. All of those have disappeared. How much better can it get? Find that little sliver of yours and get the universe. It is your comrade. It is in service of you. You don't have to do everything. Find a buddy. There are so many of you in this group who are starting to learn this different way of operating. You can literally ask if there's anybody here who might want to buddy up with you to go take up this challenge of up-leveling your vibrations with how much better can it get. So I expect that will contribute somewhat to your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next question is from Minaji.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Meenaji, unmute.
Yes, I put it in the chat box. If you
Yes.
can read it for me, please. Thank you.
Yes. So how can we make authentic decisions without compromise? Yes, this was a question that was asked a couple of sessions ago as well. The first thing is to understand, use your body as your partner. How will you know that you are compromising? You can mentally think that you're making a decision that's a decision that is a compromise decision. And mentally you start giving meaning to stuff, you know, and then emotions come in and they provide their own layers of icing on this compromise cake. And then it actually becomes so heavy that it's a little bit difficult to go through the layers and come back to what that decision was and why you were making it. So what I say to people about this is, the first thing is to really know what it feels like when you are making a decision with compromise. Your body is your barometer. You will feel a sense of yuckiness somewhere in your body. So if I was to say to you right now, Meenaji, right? Just tune in to the vibration of compromise. Just tell me what you feel. What is your body telling you? You'll need to unmute.
Short change. Short.
What?
Change.
Okay. Is there any particular part of your body that you're feeling this feeling? In your temples, right? Okay. So now you know what compromise feels like, right? Now, when in a decision-making journey, even before you make the decision, you start feeling the compromise, right? So you can actually literally stop yourself from making that decision, because you know the consequence of that decision is you're going to feel compromised, and it'll multiply from there. Now, it's also important to understand, what does authentic feel like? If you were in a space experiencing your authenticity, you know, just tell me what you feel and where in your body do you feel it? You feel expanded, right? Okay, there's flow. Okay, great, great. So now once you understand what these two feel like, if a decision comes in that you have to make, you're going to make the decision when you feel that expansive flow. If you're feeling short change, if you're feeling that tension in your temples, you're heading towards compromise. You stop, okay? And choose to up-level your vibrations, looking at what other options do you have. So that's a first step, and it's a very powerful step. Okay, use your body as your partner. The physical connection with your body really helps you make authentic decisions without compromise, because you just don't decide if you're not feeling that expansive feeling. So decisions aren't made that are those of compromise. Now, sometimes, you know, we have situations where the decision has to be made and you're not feeling that expansive authenticity, you know, in which case examine what is it? What are the nuances of that decision or that action that you're, you know, about to take? And you'll find there'll be something in one of the nuances that is the compromise factor. Deal with it before deciding. Okay.
Last two questions on this chat was mine. First one was not mine. Last two was mine.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So please shed some light on destiny, tarot cards, bat spells, how to work with this. Political, religious leaders that seem to go astray. What can we do to up-level their vibrations? What is the role of the citizen or a devotee when this occurs? So shed some light on destiny tarot cards and stuff. You know, we can give our power away to lots of things, planets, Mercury retrograde, tarot cards, you know, somebody else who we care about and doesn't seem to care about. We can give our power away, or we can really see all of these things as things that are there for us to enjoy and experience. Destiny tarot cards, okay, you know, they tell you what they tell you, and there is a vibration to it, and you will feel in your body, Meenaji, when you're looking at a destiny tarot card, and the tarot card reader is interpreting it, or you're interpreting it, when you're experiencing flow in your body, yes, that is something for you to take. Even if it is bad news, you will feel the flow in your body if that message is for you to receive. You know, so that's how I say work with those kind of things, like the destiny tarot cards. Don't give your power away to anything. You are the one that you have been waiting for. And you are the one the world has also been waiting for, because we all chose. This is a very, I have been saying this for a while, that those of us that are here at this time, we are very, very special in choosing to be at this time to support each other collaboratively to co-create coexistence. So I'm waiting for you to be here, and here you are, you know? So you're the all-powerful one. Enjoy the destiny tarot cards. Bad spells. You know, this whole piece about bad spells, curses, yes, energetically that is there. It does exist, you know, and they can only impact you if there is a vibrational match. If there is no vibrational match, they cannot stay there. They don't have any impact on you. They become this dormant, you become like a dormant carrier of these things. After a while, they just disappear. You know? So we can give our power away to that. We can give our power away to, we've got this, you know, the Saturn going on, which is very constricting and difficult planetary wise. Okay, it's there. There are certain energies. I'm not discounting any of that. And focus on you up-leveling your vibrations. Your question is, how do I work with this? You work with these by constantly noticing how you feel, acknowledging it, just as if you're cleaning your body of their effect, and choose to up-level your vibrations. Okay. The next question, political and religious leaders that seem to go astray, what can we do to up-level their vibrations? What is the role of a citizen devotee when this occurs? There's a very beautiful story that I read. There's a Hawaiian technique called Ho'oponopono. And it's a technique where when somebody's having any form of distress, you just keep them in your mind and you go, I love you, you know, please forgive me, I forgive you. And it's something like that. I don't quite remember the words, right? But basically, it came out of a body of work that was created by this doctor. This doctor was the chief physician in a mental health facility for convicts with mental health issues. And there was severe mental health issues, quite a dangerous facility actually. So he every day would go in and he would literally go through the file of his patients one by one by one, you know, just really looking at the patient and just declaring the Ho'oponopono phrase over and over and over again. A few months later, each of his patients completely recovered and left the facility. You don't fix anyone by thinking you have to fix them. Whatever we give energy to, we get more of. If you think they are going astray, what are you giving energy to them going astray? They go more astray. right? And you start going astray because you're attempting to fix something outside of you. Well, okay, they are acknowledge what is happening, how it makes you feel in this situation. I often really send love, kindness, and compassion, to them, to their higher self, and most importantly, fill my heart up with love, kindness, and compassion. You don't have to condone that behavior. You don't have to tolerate it. Just be aware, whatever you give energy to, you get more of. So there's nothing to fix ever, because if you want to fix something, your attention, your energy is being given to what is wrong. When you acknowledge and say, in the face of this, what is mine to do, you're not fixing anything. You are empowering yourself and you're standing tall and stepping forward.
In my question, I said, how can we energetically do that?
That's,
So,
well, this is what you will do for yourself. I'm saying you don't need to worry about anybody else. You acknowledge how you feel in the context of whatever you're experiencing or seeing in a political leader or religious leader, and you focus on up-leveling yourself. In the face of this, what is it that I can acknowledge within myself that I feel positive about? Begin with that. That makes you feel stronger. And then you ask the question, what is mine to do? And do that. Okay. You're muted still. Okay.
Next
Yes.
questions from Nikita ji. So Nikita, are you there? Can you just unmute yourself?
And if you come on video, it makes it easier for me to actually talk to a person. Oh, she's just coming in. So we'll go to the next one while she gets ready. There is Neelam Gupta.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
I can't start my video since I'm not well actually. And I'm sleeping on my bed and I'm watching your this.
Okay.
I'm not attending your webinar. So I just want to know.
So Neelam, have you completed the program? Unblock your flow of money?
No, ma'am. This is my first one that I'm attending.
Okay. So what I would like, what I would like to suggest, Neelam, is if you can complete the program and very specifically complete the prosperity clearing series. That will clear out a lot of the energetic interference in the context of money.
And how to do that?
You would have, if you haven't already, you will receive, the links to our program. So you will receive those. I'd go ahead and do that. If you don't, please get in touch with Anushri. She will make sure that you have everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Tokes in hospital. Okay. Yes, you got it, Tokes. That's all good. Okay, there's
Sarah Gross.
Okay. Yes, Sarah, come on in.
Thank you. So Mynoo, because we've been in conversation and practicing up-leveling our whole spectrum well-being and health with the fasting, and then it came up about oil pulling. I've been wanting to ask you, because I know you've been practicing for quite a while, during the grieving process and the pandemic, and having had COVID the first time in 2020, and I think avoiding the dentist, I have some sort of, I'm very concerned about it. And my guidance was to ask you about oil pulling. I did read about it, but I'm interested in your process and your experience.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I really do attribute a lot about my own physical internal health to oil pulling. Oil pulling is a practice, for those of you who don't know what that is, which is when you wake up the first thing in the morning, before you drink water even or anything at all, you take 2 tablespoons of oil and put it into your mouth and just gargle it. Swish it around. You don't drink it, you just swish it around. And then ideally you would do it for up to 20 minutes. You don't need to do it for any more than that, but you can do it for 5 minutes and that's a good start. And really when you're swishing it around, but when you spit it out, it's no longer thick and viscous as oil. It actually becomes quite liquidy because it's sucked out all the toxins from the roots of your teeth, and every root of your teeth has got so many canals, if you like. Every tooth is connected to multitude of organs, nerves, capillaries, your lymphatic system, a whole variety of systems. So oil pulling, literally, when you're swishing it backwards and forwards, it's pulling it out. It's a little bit like, if you've ever had a facial done, when they do the first cleansing part and they massage your face with a cleanser, and it's a little bit greasy, especially when you're getting a facial done. They're literally rubbing this thing into your skin, and then they just take a warm towel and wipe it, Well, because in that massaging, it's pulling out the toxins. So oil pulling actually does that. It pulls out the toxins from your organs through your teeth. That's what happens. And that's why you've experienced a phenomenal transformation of your inner health, not let alone the health of your teeth and your gums transforms. Now there's a choice of oil that you can make, right? So what I do for myself, I make my own concoction. So I take about a 200 ml bottle of this size bottle, and I have coconut oil in it. So in this 200 and 250 ml, I put 25 drops of organic peppermint essential oil. And I put 15 drops of clove oil. If I don't have clove oil, I just take about 3 or 4 little clove florets and just crush them only lightly and put them in that oil. Clove oil is the best because then it blends perfectly. And then every morning I just have 2 tablespoons of this. Now, I had to find strategies, Sarah. Oil always gagged me up, Growing up, we had to take castor oil once a month or something to clean our inside. So I just had the horrible memories of gagging on oil. So I had to create my own strategies. Even though I know I wasn't drinking this oil, I was just swishing it. So what I do for myself is the moment I wake up, the first thing before I do anything, I have 2 tablespoons of oil in my mouth and I start swishing, And at that point, I'll go have a shower, get my clothes ready, get myself completely dressed up. 20 minutes are up. And then I, gargle and, let go of that oil and then use my toothbrush as normal.
Oh, you do. So then do you use toothpaste as well?
I make my own toothpaste, or I buy an organic one. So yeah, if you feel you want to, you can, but you actually don't have to, Now, so I do that. I use a tongue cleaner to clean the tongue. I always massage my teeth right at the end with my finger, just go over them like this, the front and the back. Now, why am I doing that? That's great pleasure when you do oil pulling, because your enamel, you just feel your enamel. There is no coating in your teeth at all. And they go squeaky, squeak. It's literally squeaky clean, They squeak as you're doing it. But really what you're doing is you're massaging the gum connections to your teeth. As you age, the gum starts to recede, you know, and this actually keeps that grip nice and solid.
Oh, I didn't realize as you age. So also what
Yeah.
could have happened is not just gum disease during COVID, but also aging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And everything reverses, by the way. So don't worry about it. You know, I had cavities in my teeth, I had all that stuff, everything reversed. But I've been doing it since 2013.
Okay.
I do it every single day.
Okay. Okay. Another question is Bandari J, who I met with Mina. His advice is as soon as you wake up, which is what I do, is drink like a liter of water. So where does the water come in then? First
I
you do the oil pulling.
I have it afterwards.
Okay.
So once I've done clean my teeth, I do have my liter of water.
So is cleaning the teeth in your morning practice, is that the first thing you do as soon as you
Yes,
wake up?
even
before you do
I
anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's I'm going to start doing that. Thank you. So I get a bottle, you get some sort of a bottle, and then you fill it with coconut oil, and then the 25 drops of peppermint oil and 15 of clove.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay, great.
I'm going to try it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'd like to address Nikita Sinha's. I get exhausted very quickly and my hemoglobin count is low. So is Nikita, if your video is on, it would be nice for you to come here. Anushri, is Nikita's video on?
Yes, thank you, Mynoo.
Okay, so yeah, if you can have Nikita on. Okay. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, Nikita, exhausted very quickly. My hemoglobin count is always low. It's to do with your spleen.
Oh.
Your spleen, okay? Spleen is a very important organ in our body, and it is the one that actually creates the hemoglobin. It is also the organ that is completely plugged into cosmic wisdom. And it can autocorrect so many different ailments in our body. It really is essential for our immune system. I don't talk about any of this. I'm not a medical practitioner, so you're not listening to me as a medical practitioner. You're listening to me as someone who has worked with these things for herself. And I'm just sharing how I have benefited. You know, you will make your own choices. You will consult your own practitioners, whatever feels the right thing for you to do, okay? So it's the spleen. Where is the spleen? The spleen is sort of in the middle. It's just behind your pancreas and your liver. It's right in the center of your system. So you don't have to know the exact position, but just to make that connection, I usually go with my left hand. I have sort of over here, and I have my right hand over it. Okay. So I'm really, spleen is like sort of like a circular organ, the masculine and the feminine. By doing the left hand here, I'm actually bringing a state of calm to it, my right hand on top of it. And I'm giving permission to my spleen to remember what the originating intent is of the spleen, which is to remember the healthy version of hemoglobin cells that it is here to create. I also then allow my body to receive whatever wisdom is needed for the spleen to start operating healthily. You will need to work on your diet and all of that to make sure that you feel energized in terms of an exhaustion can be minimized, but the health of the spleen is what's going to make the real difference here. We have a series that we do, which is Beyond Meditation. And in that, I did a whole series on the body, up-leveling the human form. And in that, there is a particular session which is dedicated to spleen. So if you are open to it, I will ask Anushri to send you a link to the Up-Leveling the Human Form series of Beyond Meditation. My invitation to you would be do all of them. It'll take several weeks. You just lie down and just listen to it and go for it, or sit down and listen to it. Okay, it's about half an hour, no more. You don't have to do all of them in one go. You can do one every other day, one every day. It will really support you to up-level your human form.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mynooji. Today, actually, I got a call from my uncle telling me that some of my father's land and all those things, they want to dispose it off, and that if you are ready, then you'll get some money. So
how
this
much better
is-
can it get? How much better can it get? Go for it. You
yeah,
just
so
hold
it's
on to
for the
one thing
first
and just
time.
start.
It's for the first time that I have heard this kind of
Yeah.
thing, where I really do not have to work that hard to get each and every penny, and that I'll be getting some kind of from the forefathers.
Great, fabulous.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It will take some time, but yes, today I received it.
Just go. How much better can it get? Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. BS to everyone.
Yes.
BS.
Can you just
Yes.
come online?
What is hi? I would love to know.
Hi, my name is Bharti.
What is your name? Your full name?
Yes, Bharti Sheikh.
Bharti. Okay, Bharti. Yes, go for it, Bharti. I can see your question.
Bharti Shekhar.
Bharti Shekhar. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
I
when
think my
going
connection
through,
seems-
when going through a decision-making process, how to remove the undertone of doubt, fear, or failure? Yes. First of all, actually being aware that there might be an undertone, that in itself, when you acknowledge something consciously, it stops having a grip. Okay. So always good, especially if you're in the process of making a decision, to just look at, is there an undertone? Or what's the undertone? Where do I feel it? How does it make me feel? What does it even look like? Like really be with this undertone until it disappears. And it disappear, it will. It only sticks and keeps coming back because we don't acknowledge it. Okay, so that's the first piece. Observe, is there an undertone? You'll know it. Like I said, in your body, it's like authenticity feels expansive, and the other, the fear and doubt will have a very different experience. So don't overlook it. Acknowledge it until it disappears. Now you're about to make a decision, and the self-doubt and all that is not there. Engage with, this is a bonus piece that I'm giving you. Engage with, if I take this decision, what is the consequence of this decision? Okay. And then choose, will I choose this consequence? Because it's not the decision, it is the consequence that you are going to start training yourself to choose. By working with choosing the consequence, you actually start operating with such awareness and conscious presence that a lot of the self-doubt and stuff automatically starts to disappear, because you are honoring your own worthiness. Okay, so that's my response to the first question. You will see it disappearing by acknowledging it.
Okay.
The second one, during the process of starting something new, I'm experiencing a certain discomfort in the left shoulder neck region over the last 3 to 4 days. Does it mean anything? So the neck is often compromised when you feel as if you're going to be carrying a burden. Okay, so in making this, in starting this new thing, is there a burden that you will be carrying? That's
Actually,
one piece
no.
to inquire. So let me just talk about the shoulder as well,
No.
and then you just have to look into this, right? So the shoulder really is how supported you feel to be in terms of you being able to carry it all the way through. The left side is really to do with how supported you are from the masculine. Even though left is feminine, when you have any left side issues, it's actually some form of a concern around the masculine that is there. So just examine it, and that it may be to do with the masculine in the business that you're about to do, or in the idea you're about to follow through, or it may be to do with something that you might have seen in the masculine in another part of your life, or whatever, you know. All there is to do is just acknowledge, okay, where is it coming from, you know. And once you've acknowledged it, given that it is to do with support and burden, you look at how or where do you actually have support. You know, your own health, your own mental focus, your own enthusiasm about it, you know. And you know, it could be your friends, could be the environment, whatever. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do all of this in a very sort of logical, mechanical way, because I can say, okay, I've done this and it's all gone, but your mind won't accept it. So the energy signature of all of this stuff will stay. By you engaging your mind, it doesn't interfere anymore. That little voice in your head that comes up with self-doubt, fear, all that stuff shuts up, because it knows that you really do work, you acknowledge it, you work with it. You don't ignore it. Right. And it doesn't stop you anymore, because it doesn't need to.
Sure.
Okay. The third one, does lymphatic blockage mean existence of any subconscious blocks? I have had an issue with lymphatic edema for several years now. I'm not actually going to go into the energetic significance. Yes. Did you have something?
Yeah, in the recent past, it's also coupled up with the urticaria, which is basically a reaction to an allergic reaction to something. So,
yes, I was, yeah. You know, I would really strongly recommend this up-leveling the human form. I've done quite a lot of work on the lymphatic system. I would love for you to, you know, examine that and work with that. Energetic block is, it is really to do with you, like, very strongly holding on to some old ways of thinking that you, or old ways of doing certain things that you just don't want to let go of. It's like it's almost become your identity, you know, some belief or something that is coming from a past, or from an, you know, the way you did certain things in the past. You're very tightly attached to it. It's actually toxic, but because you're so attached to it, it's intertwined to your identity, you're not allowing it to flow out. Lymphatic system actually flows and removes the toxins, you know, as you move. But when it's blocked, your nodes start to swell up and they hurt quite a bit. You know, and you can release all of those things. This particular Beyond meditation will definitely work with that. But examine, you know, is there a particular belief that you're holding on to very strongly, very rigidly, very stubbornly, that you're not willing to let go of? Or you've bought into something else that somebody else has said, and you're holding on to that as a truth. That blocks, and it's toxic. And it's not flowing out of your system, creates a lymphatic system block.
Okay. So in other words, I should do some shadow work.
Yeah, see, you don't need to go into that humongous process of shadow work. You know, it's literally just examine, maybe just 10 minutes of looking within yourself. Are there certain beliefs that are like my truths?
Okay.
Okay. any belief, I mean, really, the times are changing. Unknown is the known, uncertainty is certain. Having any beliefs as your truth, it will be shaken out of you. But by holding on to it so tightly, you're actually preventing the flow, and you'll find not just the lymphatic edema, the lymph nodes might start to get compromised. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, Parul Shah, Parul, come online. Yeah, okay, you'll need to unmute yourself, Parul. Yes, do you want to ask your question?
Okay.
I can read it if you like.
So there was something that you mentioned about, whatever we give energy to multiplies. So which is totally understood and experienced. But in the face of, certain situations, how not to, when you see those things so clearly, which is not very healthy or supportive. So how does one not let your attention go to that or not impact basically?
Yeah. I mean, it is not the easiest thing. It's such a simple statement. Whatever you give energy to, you get more of. Oh, yeah. And then you start implementing it. And then it's like, how can I not? What do you mean? How can I not? Even acknowledging is giving energy. So it's like, what the hell? How do I work with this? And how can you tolerate something like this? How can you condone it? All those thoughts come up, right? I have been there, Paro, in implementing this. And here's the access point that I got, right? What I got was that especially this thing becomes challenging. If you're by yourself, you can't get around it. You can find so many things in your presence that you can give energy to and really uplift yourself. But when there are other people involved, or certain relationships involved, where that energy is being given for very good reason, because they've given you a lot of evidence to give energy to that, it's harder to not give energy to that, right? So here's what I was shown, and I follow this really diligently, which is we are all magnificent beings in human disguise. And the magnificence is the same in all of us. It's a human disguise that gets fractured. And it is up to me to choose the human disguise and the fractures within it and keep noticing the fractures. It is up to me to embrace the human disguise all the way until I get to the magnificence without questioning the fractures, because there, my magnificence blossoms. And I can give energy to the blossoming of me. So there is a process that I actually take people through, because it's easier said than done, where I say to people, look, just know you are as magnificent as this other person that has caused you so much distress and trauma for so many years. If you are to really just because you want to remove this low vibe, fractured human disguise stuff from your field, just for the heck of that, dive through that human disguise into this person's magnificence and notice what that magnificence is and receive that magnificence as your own. You can then step out of it and literally the fractures of this person that were there in the human disguise disappear. Why I'm saying this and why it is significant is that when we have people that are in our life, even if they are causing us distress or trauma, or they might have caused us distress and trauma in the past, but that memory is still there. It is there because they came bearing their gifts of magnificence, which we refuse to acknowledge and therefore we never received. The moment you receive it, it's as if the trauma disappears. And even they disappear from your life altogether, or they become close to you in their magnificence. Now some of you have read the B book, and you probably know my story of, I married my childhood sweetheart, and we went out for 7.5 years, got married. From the first year of marriage, he started hitting me. And it continued for about 10 years until I finally divorced him. Many, many years later, I'm like very present to this. We are all magnificent beings in human disguise. And up to that point in time, I was fine. I was able to talk about it. But I was not wanting to even acknowledge that there was anything positive that I got from those experiences of being beaten up, for no reason whatsoever. So I did this exercise. I literally, in my meditation, I saw this person, my ex-husband, in front of me, and I literally embraced his fractured human disguise and embraced my own for judging them. And I just, in my mind's eye, if you like, or I just went deeper and deeper and deeper into that embrace through all of those experiences that had caused me so much distress, into a clearing where all I saw was his magnificence. I saw that this guy was, he was so dedicated to transforming the quality of his life. He was so attached to continually learning new things. He was such an adventurer, and he was quite bold in being able to talk to anyone, and really quite strong in his convictions, totally believed in himself, and had physical strength as well, and I learned so much about, this books that taught you positive thinking. I mean, he was like that, when I began dating him. So I realized that there's so many things that I noticed that he had, I actually was lacking. And in that magnificence, I really allowed myself to receive it all. And that was a very powerful completion of that relationship. I realized that, okay, that even though it was a little bit stressful, it was still there in the back of my mind. I had outgrown it, but it was still there, that I allowed this to happen to me. And by doing this, I embraced my own fractures, connected to my magnificence, went past his fractures, plugged into his magnificence, and received what he was there to offer me and teach me. It's a very powerful body of work that people do in the deeper work that I do with people. Huge, huge transformations take place. But thank you for asking. We are nearly to the end of our time today. So I do have a beyond meditation that happens. Anushri, please, can you take a note of the questions that I have not answered yet and share them with me so that we can address them in future sessions. I look forward to seeing you all next Thursday. If you want to stay on in the Beyond Meditation session, we are about to start it in a couple of minutes. Those of you who also participate in my Pearl of Wisdom session, it'll happen in a few hours. We'll share the times in our groups. This session that I'm doing on the Pearl of Wisdom is focusing on, it's a nugget of wisdom actually, which focuses on cadence. Cadence is the name of the game. It is the most powerful regenerative strategy there is, achieving cadence. So I'm going to talk about the 7 pathways to achieving cadence with velocity. And we're going to begin the Beyond Meditation right now. Thank you so much. If you wish to leave the meeting, go ahead and leave it. And those of you who wish to stay, please stay. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Mynoo, should I just allow all the people who are waiting?
Yes, Yes.
Okay, and then I'm